Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending where you are. I'm happy to be here again today to talk about what I promised. I remember my last video, I was talking about we how I have been helping my children on lockdown, and at the same time I wanted to also know how other people have been doing it, because especially for those of us who lived here in Germany, I think it's not easy, and that was why I advised on my last video that it's important for us to know the language. It's very important, as if I know that something is coming up. Maybe some of you, or maybe most of you, must have seen the video going on the Facebook or in the YouTube and some other places concerning a woman who live here in Germany, and complaining about the German government not allowing her child to go to gymnasium. Many people, I don't know, some people who don't live here, maybe you might not understand why she was insisting. It's not as if they did not allow her child to go to school, but she wished, or she wanted, or she believed, or she knew that her child is supposed to be in the gymnasium. In Germany here, we have nursery school. After nursery school, you go to primary school. Their primary schools are and they do it 4 years. That means primary 1, 2, 3, and 4. And thereafter, you will write exam that will take you now to junior secondary. Let me say it like that, junior secondary. So when you are after your primary 4, that is when you're going to be visiting the junior secondary school. From there you go to senior. So most the system divide their school, the secondary school, into 3, as in we have a Gesamtschule. This Gesamtschule, like community school in back home, where boys and girls and everybody is mixed together. In fact, for them here, the Gesamtschule means everybody is being joined together. The good, the middle, and the bad ones, everybody is joined together, irrespective of your qualification or your level of understanding, or I don't know how. Yeah, I believe you guys are understanding what I mean. So after that, they have what is called Realschule. This Realschule, a child will do it up to 10th class. After the 10th class, in the 10th class, you will now write exam. That exam now will take you to go now to gymnasium. In the gymnasium is where you are going to do now another 2 years to pass out, to go to write like WAEC we do to go to university. So most people, or the way they do it, the kids that are very, very, very bright, they always recommend them for gymnasium. That means in the gymnasium, you start your primary 5, you start your junior secondary school 1, they call it here 5. You start from the 5 till the till the 9th, till the 12th class. To the 12th class. You start it from 5 to 12. Then you, from there direct, you go to university. Then the ones who are in the Gesamtschule, they made it also different. Before, it's not like that, but since they changed it, they make it that even in the Gesamtschule, you can still write exam from there straight to university. You don't need to visit gymnasium. You must not visit gymnasium to go to university. You can get your direct entry from Gesamtschule there. But there is one thing about the Gesamtschule that even me, I'm like, is it really the best way? There, even in the Gesamtschule, my child and your child might be in the same class, but your child is more brighter than my child. They assume they are sitting in the class, but their performances are not the same. Your child is being given another assignment or another papers during exam, and my child is being given another one. Why? Because your child is brighter than my child, but they're sitting in the same class. Even during the rating, you find that maybe my child had in Deutsch, English, or Maths 1 is like A1, and then your child also have one, but that's your child one is different from my own child's one they wrote based on level. So maybe at the end of the day, your child, because her one has more superiority than the one of my child, he or she will write exam and go to university. But my own child that was in the same class with your child might not end up in the university, might end up working in somewhere. So that is a little bit complicated and I cannot explain it all. I normally tell people, me, before my kids got to this stage, I always got confused when people are explaining it until my kids got to that level. So now it's easier for me to explain a little bit, and that is why I'm explaining it for those whom their kids have not gotten to the stage of my kids. So what am I trying to say? So today I'm not going to be teaching about what I promised to teach. 1 minute, let me take my coffee. Today, I'm not gonna be talking about what I previously proposed to talk about, how I managed to help my kids. So let me talk about that video to clear some things on that video so that we don't get ourselves mixed up or confused there. I can understand that woman. I can understand what that woman was saying. She had a point. But I must tell you, there are some points I felt maybe, okay, out of annoyance or maybe out of knowledge, she did not explain it well. So that is what I'm going to explain now. Her child was really good, like she said, was so much good. If that, for me, if what she was saying that her child writes good notes, as in almost all the subjects, automatically, that child's supposed to go to gymnasium, which is let me say the highest or the best of secondary school, I may say, or the ones they believe they have the straight potentials to go straight to university. So that child's supposed to be there. But I still don't know why they did not recommend that for her. Normally, before in Deutschland, it used to be like this, that the teacher decide where a child goes. So people were criticizing it. For me, I didn't even like the idea. I can understand human being. Some people will come and say, I don't like you. That doesn't mean you did something wrong to them. It's choice. Everybody must not like me the same way I must not like everybody. So probably that system before, I am not in support of it either, because if my child happens to fall into a class of a teacher who doesn't really like dark kids or who doesn't really like foreigners, so he or she might, I'm quoting it, might, I'm not 100% sure, might rate my child down, or might say, oh, my child don't need to go there, or even though my child was supposed, and then it was a little bit problem. But thank God they changed the system. The system now is the teacher still writes, which I know it still means so much also, even though the parents decide why teacher write. Teacher now will write that your child will go to this school, but you as the parent will now say, okay, this is what the teacher said, but I want my child to go to the other school. I don't care, let my child try. If it doesn't work, fine. But I will advise you to do that only when you are very sure that your child is really good. If your child is not good, don't push that child so much, because you might be making that child to overlabor him or herself. So the best thing to do, if your child is good and you are sure, and you find out, okay, it's been done that because of one thing or the other, why not push your child, let him or her try. Maybe if she goes there, and some kids, maybe when they go to where is competition, that is when you see them showing their talent. But when everything is dull, they don't, nothing moves them to challenge. So I think it's also wise to push your child to that area, because it's a big challenge out there. Why I'm saying this is this, because I noticed some people were also commenting on that video that Germans here, no matter how hard you tried, they will never write your child to go to university. Sorry, please, I disagree with that. I do disagree with that, because I have 3 kids. 2 of my kids have gone are already at the age of secondary school, so the 2 of them are visiting in the gymnasium. not only my boy is still in the primary school, which I believe if he still work hard, he will still go to gymnasium. So I want to change that impression. It's not true. It's wrong for those of you saying that German will not allow our kids to go to gymnasium because we are foreigner. No. I disagree. They might have their own area they will want to discredit us. But sometimes I don't see it negatively in the other way around. If I should think about it very well, it's not that negative. If they should put their own first, it's a good thing. That is what we're supposed to do, especially we the Nigerians. That is what we're supposed to do. No, but we do the other way around. We choose the foreigners for ourselves, against ourselves, which is wrong. At least if you come to Nigeria, if there's a position, I as a Nigerian should get that position. But sometimes it doesn't work that way in my country. Sometimes the Nigerians will leave me and give white person that opportunity based on superiority. Is wrong. No matter how superior they might be, you should also make position for your people first. So in that aspect, I will not condemn them so much. But what I believe is, once your child is good and you find out that your child is really good and maybe they're not giving your child that opportunity, my dear, you have every right to fight for it. Every right. There is what they call here Schulamt. So you go to the city where you live, every city have their Schulamt. If you believe that a teacher of your child is discrediting your child when that child is doing well, then take it up. And if you prove them right, you win the case. So now you see, now for those who have watched my last video, you see why it's important. I encourage that woman braveness. I did encourage it. I really respect her for that, because, and you can see she proved that if a black woman who came into this country can still speak this language like this, that means my child should know better, because my child started nursery school here. So that is why you should take that my video so serious and important. Learn this language. Did you know how many people who are passing through the same thing this woman is passing through? So many. But they cannot even say it out. How are you going to say it out? Which language are you going to use it? Okay, you can say it in English. Good. But if you want them to understand, you have to say it in the language they understand. And which language is that? Dutch. So, are you understanding me now? Are you understanding why it is important to learn a language wherever you find yourself? So, Mom, I can understand you, but my advice to you is take it up to school amt, present your child documents. When they're saying that your child is too small, is too young, I disagree. My daughter have a girl who is almost 2 years younger than the rest of them in the class. Because here in Germany, we do with this student goes to school, they're almost, all of them are almost at the same age. So, but there are kids from 5 years, they start primary school because they're so bright. So if they're saying that your child is young, that is why she should not go to gymnasium, is wrong. I disagree with that. Except there's any other thing they are telling you that you didn't say out, then that could be. There's another thing I want to also tell us that is important here in this country for those of us who have kids. Your child might be so intelligent. Your child can be writing 111 in all her subjects, and your child might be maybe in her noten is wonderful, but there is something that plays a very big important role here, which for us where we're coming from, we don't even see that really that way. Rather we We say it, oh, the child is so quiet, she doesn't disturb in the class, she's so quiet, she don't talk. No, here, here is the other way around. When a child is so quiet, they don't understand it. They believe a child should be outspoken. And in the class, no matter how many one you get, if you don't participate in the class, and how do you participate? Always raise your hand up when a question is being asked, even though they did not ask you. Always, when you know it's always always raise your hand up. Always, please tell your kids that it's very important, because at the end of the day, they will still write every other thing about that child that is good, and then there's a place they're gonna write he or she doesn't participate. And participation in the class has its own point that counts. That I have learned, and it's real. So that alone can discredit your child to go down. The same way it discredits, that is the same way the braveness of your child, the outspoken of your child, can lift that your child more higher. Because I still remember during my own, even in that gymnasium, they are all gymnasium, but still they're not the same. There are one or two things that make each one different. One or two things that makes, there are some gymnasium that specialize, that gymnasium always produces people, maybe the most people that comes out from that gymnasium, they're medical doctors and the things concerning health. There are some gymnasium that specialize in physics, building robots, on all the rest. There are some gymnasium that specialize maybe in sports. You see, so these are things we all have to learn. So you have to know where exactly, which of the gymnasium will I put my child. It's not just all about gymnasium, it's all about which gymnasium also is my child good. Okay, you know, our kids, we are not the only people training them. During their time of nursery and primary school, they shared, they call it a teen here, parental training. We teach them at home. We learn from them also. We see their character. We see some things about them. The same way the school study them and see other things. So sometimes the thing you observe and what the school observe tallies. Sometimes you might be observing this and the school is observing something else. Maybe based on the environment or things around that child. Maybe, for example, you might be a parent that you don't like having a lot of speed toys in your house. You don't want it so much. So that child might be playing with the little he or she has at home. But when he finds himself in school where they have a lot of speed toys, a lot of playing things for them, you see that child, the teachers start monitoring that child. They start noticing every time he or she comes, this is this particular thing he plays with. This is what he does to this. This is, he tried to change that into. So that is how they observe our children. You see. So what am I trying to say here? The most important thing here is just to make us understand. It's very, very, very important for us to know this language. That is point number one. Number two, very, very important to know the direction your child will have to go. Study your child very well. So, and I was saying I'm calling Angela Michael. I don't think Angela Michael have anything to do with that. She's the counselor, yeah, in Germany. But she has also her own department. Concerning the school, there is this department that handles anything concerning school. So, but the bottom line is, what that woman did is good for those who has been passing through this, to send a message across that everybody will have to, we have to learn from that video. It happens to that woman, but somebody else might be the one that will benefit from that video. I wish her well, and I wish that her child well. I wish she get what she wants. I wish the dream of that child, that nobody stands on top of her dreams. And it's not gonna happen. So personally, I watched that video. I felt the pain of that woman. I understand her very well. I also thought of it because I have kids myself. Immediately I saw that video, I let my kids watch that video. I asked them question, and what do you think about this video? My daughter told me, okay, mom, I know maybe one or two things might be happening that the kids are being on the as in can be low rated, but I don't know that it's up to this extent. She also said she has to go to school and complain about it. She said, I've never noticed it, and I pray that you will not notice it. Maybe that you don't notice it now, nobody knows tomorrow, but my prayer is that let us not notice it, but let us all take something very important, as in helping our children. Keep helping your children, and you can help your children when you help yourself. I respect that woman. I can see she helped herself to help that child. So if she can speak that like that, that means her child is really good, like she said. So I will have to end it here. The video I promised to make the last time, I'll still make it, but let us just digest this very particular one, and let us learn something from it. For those who still have kids who are not already in that age or already in that level, don't be afraid. It's not always like that. It's not always. I don't believe it. That's 100%. It's not always like that. So for some people who said no matter how their kids works and they will never put them to gymnasium, please withdraw that statement. It's not true. I believe it's not true. If somebody stop your child from going to the school you believe your child is supposed to be, take it up, and you will get what you want. If you did not take it up, that means you don't know where to start, because you never helped yourself to help your child. That is where I'm going to end it here. So let's see in the next video and talk about how to help our children. It's important. Bye, and God bless you.